I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
I'm going to start.
Do it.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 4. It's
season 4.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I can't even handle it. There's so much to cover. I mean, I know I say that every time, but especially with this one, there's so much to cover. So let's go ahead. I have a little bit of a recap from Lil Sebastian. Number 1 is that Johnny Sneed was on the show, which was great. We loved him. So shouts to him. But I totally forgot to bring up that he was in Friends. And I totally would have asked him about it and geeked out, but I was too concerned with Fever Pitch and obviously parks.
Yeah.
But he was in Friends. For those of you who don't remember, it came up actually when I was watching Friends. I just had it on the background. I was like, oh my God, Johnny Sneed! He was in the episode where Phoebe sings outside of Monica's new restaurant. And Monica's like, that's not you can't sing it.
Yeah.
And he was one of the ones that, he's literally the only one really that says like, he doesn't compliment Monica's cooking. He's just like, the singer outside's kind of a buzzkill. And I was like, oh my God, Johnny!
That's so crazy. That's awesome.
Yes. So I'm going to email him. I have it on my list to email him and ask him if he has any memories of that.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, this is purely for my enjoyment. So don't stress about what you say. But anyway. So yes, thank you to Johnny. Friendly reminder, we have a Patreon. There's research that says you guys have to hear it. Everybody has to hear it 5 to 6 times before you take like advantage of the thing that you hear 5 or 6 times. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to say it.
That's
every
legit.
time. Yeah. And especially I've been hearing that a lot with podcasting too, like, but also just marketing in general. I've gone down a marketing rabbit hole. So, yeah, not that you guys need to know how the sausage is made, but there is a Patreon and there will be really fun things in there. So yeah, join our Patreon. Okay. And then the other thing, I followed up with Renee Vaca, who is the makeup artist that talked about Ron's hair and how they did the repellent, the fire retardant rather, for the big, huge explosion that blows all his hair off. And I remember you saying like brows are hard to grow back. And so I was like, you know what, let me just double check if I got that right. And she said brows would be the makeup department, but she doesn't remember doing that because they would all have known. So I definitely got that wrong. So you were right. They did not do brows. They just added makeup. I think they probably put like
to cover it, probably.
Exactly. Like to cover his hair. They really did
sometimes
look
they have like
shaved
skin
off.
patches that they like put over stuff
that's...
sometimes is what I've heard.
Yeah.
But because that's what I've heard is like because Ivan's mom's like eyebrows are like microbladed on or tattooed on or whatever.
Sure.
I was like, but wouldn't those get like just grow back? And then that's why I was like, I don't know if they grow back once they're gone.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I've gotten my eyebrows waxed so many times, I think, that like I have little tiny hairs that come in and that I have to pluck. I don't get them waxed anymore. But you know, because, you know, when bigger eyebrows were all the rage, I was like, I'll just let them grow back. That's totally fine. But I think like the nerves or the hair follicles or whatever just like died.
They were like, no.
You're done. So I got a couple of little hairs that grow back, but it doesn't grow back in the full like capacity. And that's just waxing, because waxing like is not shaving. You know what I mean? So
right.
Anyway, so if anyone cared about that, thank you, Renee, for messaging me back. I really appreciate that. Oh, and then Johnny Sneed, I should have said this before. So I asked him who he would relate to the most in parks, because we said that we forgot that question in the last interview. So like, who does he, you know, think that he would be in the show kind of thing, in real life rather. And he said, I'm just going to read the email. It said, Andy, because I drop things and bump into things, minor injuries, optimism. And then he also said, Ron, I have tried to play the sax and like to be alone, ... sometimes.
That's interesting. We've had a lot of people relate with Ron, a lot more people than I thought would, you know.
I agree. And when they say Ron, I definitely think they're talking about, the solitude and the stoicness instead of the, politics. I would hope
absolutely.
anyway. But that's really what they relate to. So, but I could see him being an Andy too. That's really funny, especially talking about all like his son's injuries and stuff like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you, Johnny, for messaging me back and doing all the follow-ups. But now we are at season 4, episode 1. I'm Leslie Knope. Oh my God. Big, huge freaking deal. Originally aired September 22nd, 2011, by the way, which means that I was a sophomore in college, aka I definitely didn't watch this when it aired. I don't remember that.
I didn't even live in the States.
Wow.
I honestly, because I saw the air date and I literally put it in perspective for the first time that I wasn't even living here. I wouldn't have been able to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Time warp.
It's insane.
Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't watch season 1 and 2. I don't think. I don't know when I started watching it, if I'm being completely honest with you.
I know we watched it when we lived together.
Yeah.
But we didn't start living together until 2013.
Crazy.
So,
I think it must have been before that, though. So maybe I started watching it in season 5 or like end of season 4, you know? I just can't even remember where it was or how it came up. Like, maybe it'll hit me when I review the episode that I did start watching. I don't know.
Right. I think I started watching via Netflix. And obviously the newest season wasn't on Netflix, but I think that it had like the first two or three seasons on when I started watching it.
Yeah. So it is really wild. Like you were, I don't know, it's just crazy to think about how we didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
And now look at where we are.
And I would love to hear from everyone else, like who listens. How did you start watching it? And if you weren't watching it live, how were you watching it? Like, if we all have different stories of when we started, or if anybody's been here since the legit beginning.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to ask Brooklyn. I wonder if she remembers. For those of you that are new to the show, Brooklyn's my sister, and she's been on the show quite some time. But she is older than she's 5 years older than me. So I wonder when she started watching it. I'll have to ask her. But I'll do that in our Instagram stories. Maybe have a question and people can answer back. That would be really fascinating.
Yeah, it would. It'd be great.
But okay, so I just wrote like some little tidbits, and I'm sure you did too, so we can just like go back and forth with this. But and it's not much like information, it's just opinions really, which I don't know. I was just writing that this episode just really shows us that they really know what they're doing now, or at least like it seems that way to us, because the banter, the ensemble cast, like every character knows like each other and they mess with each other, and it's so nice. And I was reading some reviews and it said that this is the season where it stepped out because number one, we have the central storyline now about Leslie running for office. Yep. Because so many things come from the origin of her running or like being in office, and they have so many options of like chaos and conflict and comedy and all the things, which is wild because last episode we talked about how she wasn't really supposed to run for office at the beginning.
Right.
And
which is
how
cool,
much that shifted.
This just propels it now. And I feel like we don't go periods of time where there's not a storyline to follow now.
Right. Totally. And then secondly, one of the reasons why it stepped out is because The Office was really kind of more successful, just for like various reasons, obviously. But now we're seeing like how different I think that they are putting themselves in a different lane. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Parks was, and people said this like reviews, and not that critics matter, but like Parks was a little bit more genuine and more like love based. You know what I mean? And like, and by love, I don't mean Jim and Pam were obviously the solid of The Office, but like I feel like Parks had this different like genuineness. You know what I mean? With the ensemble cast.
So that's exactly what I was going to say is if you look at the Parks department, everyone has love and care for each other. I mean, even Jerry has his moments, right? Yeah. And so it's this camaraderie that we see. And we get moments of that when we have, in The Office here and there, but it's a lot more about how does everyone annoy each other? Yeah. So I think that's fair. I think also, I mean, we think about it at this time. This is about right after Michael left too. So I can see there being a dive in viewership for The Office.
Yeah.
Because I love The Office. It's like one of my, I can quote it all day, every night, whatever. But I can even agree with everyone that there's a definite shift and change in personality of the show when Steve Carell leaves.
Yeah, totally.
So that could also play a part.
Did you listen to the Office Ladies interview with Steve Carell?
No, but I saw them post about it, and so I'm really excited to watch it because
it's really cute.
Oh my gosh, it took you guys long enough to get him there.
I know. Yeah, they were saying that too. They were like, we've been waiting for this moment since this podcast started, so that's really cute. I wonder if they intentionally waited until he left to talk to him about it. I don't know.
Interesting. It could have been very intentional.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who
knows? But also, he's a busy dude, I'm sure. So like, getting him would be tough. But it was a good episode.
He also looks better with age. So
oh my god, he is so hot. Yeah,
I just don't get it.
Oh my god, gray hair and glasses.
20 years older.
Yeah, he looks so sophisticated and smart and
yeah.
Yeah, I love when he's on the red carpet and he has these suits on, and they always make like Instagram pictures of like then and now and how like he's hot both ways, but now it's definitely more like regal almost or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go Steve.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, so just a little bit about who directed and wrote this. We have seen both of these people before, directed by Troy Miller, who did all the Ron and Tammys, and Jack Frost, that I bring up literally every time. I will never forget it. And then written by Dan Gore of Brooklyn Nine-Nine fame and also Parks, but also he wrote the last one. He wrote the season finale, season 3, Little Sebastian. So good for him, keeping it going.
I think that was a good choice. Mm-hmm. Keep the same writer to kind of, because we start this episode with the end of last episode.
Exactly. So
that's nice.
My God. Yes. I love that it just picks up. There's really no preamble or anything like that. I love that.
I also like that we don't get the talk through of what happened.
Yeah.
Like, this feels more Parksy to me.
Yeah. This one was, well, there was a previously on, but it wasn't as like you said.
But then you move right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So, I thought it was well done.
Okay, well, I have summary whenever you're ready.
Okay, I have actually, I don't know if you want me to do this here, but I have a couple more tidbits about the
say
episode.
it. Let's do it.
Okay, so
everyone knows what this is about, okay? But I mean, we love the summaries, but I of course, but I also want to talk about your tidbits.
Yeah. We are back into them picking on actual political things.
Oh,
because this is off of the Anthony Weiner. Is that how you say his last name?
Oh,
That's how I'm going to pronounce it.
Or is it Weiner?
It could be Weiner. I'm going to call it Weiner because it's appropriate.
But everybody says Weiner, so whatever.
Well, then don't fucking spell it like that, Holly.
My God. I know he'd have to go. That would be such an awful thing to go through your life, having that as your last name. You'd have to go to City Hall and change it.
Not a great time. But he used his last name to his advantage in his texting scandal.
Oh my God.
Where he was saying, I think it was a lot of sexting. He was married and he was sexting all these women.
Oh my God.
He had to step down and resign, obviously. I believe he was a congressman. Oh my God. If I remember correctly.
So that was based off of the Joe from Sewage thing, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't even find that information. That's awesome.
Yeah. So they got that off of an actual thing that happened. This guy had to step down. And Ivan, I was telling him about it. I was like, holy crap, this happened. And he goes, yeah, how do you not remember that? It's like, again, I wasn't living here, so I didn't get any news. But apparently he knew about it.
Yeah, so, I remember, now that you say that, I do too. It was a big scandal.
Yeah, interesting. Then also there were 4.1 million viewers of this season premiere, which were taking a little bit of a jump up from the last episode's viewership. But in comparison to season 3's premiere, it had less. There was 6 million for season 3's premiere.
Okay.
So also I'm saying this because I'm really upset about it. Is it got a 2.1 out of 6-star rating this episode, which does not track for me.
No.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what that Office Ladies has talked about, that one guy that writes reviews and gives them really bad reviews. Or not bad, but it's X out of 10 or whatever on a 10 scale rating. And they're so much lower than they should be. I don't know. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I also read, and it was very unclear the way the article was written. It was really unclear as to what the thought process was, but that sure was kind of the one that had to say, okay, this is how we have to end the relationship, because there were different ways they could have done it where she had kept dating Ben.
Yeah.
But then it just wasn't organic. I think we might have talked about this already too.
A tiny bit, but not really. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my last one. Other ones will trickle in because they're with certain scenes.
Yeah, I think I found that too, and I might be in my notes a little bit later, but basically they were saying, they needed to make it realistic of like, what is she really going to choose? Would she choose like having this relationship? But, and then they were like, to be more Leslie, this has been her goal for her entire life, technically. And so to not have her run, to say no to that would be really disingenuous probably to the character of Leslie Knope.
Yeah.
And it just leaves so much more like tension kind of stuff too for us to play with later. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm ready for summary now.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Ron is out of the office to steer clear of his ex-wife. Leslie has a big move to make in her personal life so she can advance in her professional career that she constantly is trying to avoid at all costs. Anne dodges penises from all the men in City Hall.
Oh my God. Wait, I want to see if this works really fast.
Okay. Yay. Oh,
Okay,
two. I get two.
Yeah, I was like trying to stop it and then it paused. Okay, anyways. Yay, applause. Anne has some really good deleted scenes in here too, so I'm excited to show you that.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Okay, I got the DVD for season 4, and I wanted to show you, and now that we have good video, I'll post it on Instagram. But I got the thing. Okay, so the DVD has this in it. Yes. It's so cute. So it's a picture. If you're not watching this video, it's a picture of Leslie Knope being Rosie the Riveter, which she ends up being for Halloween, which is so lovely, and it's so cute. It looks very like cartoonish too, so I don't know who like drew it, or I'm sure it was like some AI thing. But also, this in the DVD, I got this. It's a sticker that says Knope 2012, just
That's
like
so
in this
cool.
episode that Ben gives to Leslie. I squealed when I opened it. I was like, oh my God, I did not expect this to happen when I opened the DVD.
That's so cool.
And I got this is so funny. I don't know why this is in here. It seemed used, so maybe they just put everything in here. But this is a picture. It's a promo for the show called Go On, starring Matthew Perry. I totally remember the show, but I
loved it.
Blocked it out. I never watched it, sadly, unfortunately. But I will watch it now that I see this. I have it on my desk as a reminder. But it's like this little postcard that has Matthew Perry's face on it.
Very cool.
So I was like, oh my God, what a time jump. 2012.
Seriously.
And then this Matthew Perry movie or show. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Which it didn't last long. I think it was a season.
Okay.
But I liked it. He was in like a grief group because his wife had passed away, I believe.
Okay.
And so it was just like a comedy about all these people who were grieving something. In the group. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was some sort of group like that.
Okay. I remember seeing like trailers and stuff, and I thought it looked funny and cool. Also, is he a radio station person? Because there's a microphone in the back, like he's in a studio.
Yeah, he could have been.
Yeah.
So he could have been. For some reason, my brain is thinking he commentated hockey or something. That's probably wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, well, I'll look it up and let you know how it goes. But maybe it's on Peacock now because of, NBC.
Thanks. Yeah.
Anyways, so there's that. But then I also wanted to tell you on the DVDs, there are webisodes. Remember how in The Office they said they did webisodes? I was like, oh my God, there's these 2-minute webisodes. I watched only one, and it was Andy and April's road trip to the Grand Canyon, or what he thinks is Mount Rushmore. And April pulls over screaming because she saw a spider. And so like the camera is stationary, and then the car just rolls right in. And she's like deathly afraid of it. And then Andy pretends to kill it so she'll get back in the car. And I was like, what? I did not know they did those. It's completely, it's not a deleted scene. It's just a completely different, separate thing that they did. So I'll keep you posted with all the other ones that I find or that I watch.
Awesome.
Crazy.
That's cool.
Also, I didn't see any commentaries on this DVD, like none for this whole season. And I'm really sad about it. So
why,
see.
guys?
I know. Did they just like not have enough time? I'm very, very sad.
You'd think there would almost be more commentary in the later seasons when they caught their stride, you know?
I know. So I'm going to have to call Mike Schur about that. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Okay. This is my next thing now that I'm looking at my notes. What you were talking about Mike Schur. Okay. Mike Schur is quoted as saying, there's just not what is right for the characters, but what is right for the show and other considerations going into it. It's not just a perfect, delicate, beautiful butterfly that's slowly unfolding its wings over the course of an entire season of TV. So he likened the relationship to the Jim and Pam romance in The Office, stating... stating the ignorance of the decision-making process behind the story would have likely reduced its enjoyment. Meaning that, like, you know, if they kept saying, do we get together or not to get together, it would have been kind of boring. And then he said he discussed this with various people, including Amy Poehler, Adam Scott, and JJ Philbin, aka Mike Schur's wife.
That. Yeah.
Which was so funny. And friendly reminders, she's the namesake of JJ's Diner and a writer on New Girl. But everybody felt that the breakup better suited the ambitious nature of Leslie's character, which I totally
agree with that.
Yeah. It sucks because like we just got started and we just got to see them really loving each other and we waited so long, but now they have to break up. It's stupid, but I get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's I mean, when you look in the grand scheme of things, they end up together.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. So, you know, it's like this was the right choice for her to say, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to trust that I can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let myself try this because if Ben and I are meant to be, that might come up again.
Right. Well, you know? And from a technical standpoint, if they got picked up for a whole season, I'm sure they were like, we can make them get back together a little bit later. You know?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So anyway, all right. So we needed to get that groundwork out of the way because there's so much going on and to set that up. But now we pick up right where we left off, still at little Sebastian's memorial. Now the suits have left. Leslie and Anne are talking. And I love that Anne immediately picks up on like, what does that mean for you and Ben? Because I wouldn't have asked that when Leslie said that she was running for office as a first question anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, not as a first question.
So we just continue saying, yay, yay.
And I love that because I think there's this is something Holly does for me sometimes is, okay, are you looking for advice or just to be heard right now? Like, and that's what Anne's doing here. She's like, are you ready to talk about it, or do we just need to be excited about this one thing and get through our emotions one at a time? And so I think it's beautiful that she gives space for that.
Totally. That question for me is a game changer of like, do you want me to offer something or do you just need like support?
Just need to hear you.
Which is like sometimes it sucks because the other person doesn't know what they need until you do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like still having that option to be like, okay, then I can shift gears and do what you need me to do.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I think when you get comfortable with people, like with you, if I was texting you and I didn't want feedback, I would probably say, hey, I just need to vent for a second. Because I know you're already going to ask the question.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, I feel like when you get that comfort level with someone, you can just straight up put it out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Makes sense.
Yeah. Not everybody thinks about it though.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And sometimes it's just the vibe. You can tell what the other person needs. But yeah, it's nice to have that open communication. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So now Ron is trying to get Leslie to come with him, and she won't, so he drags her chair. Oh, that must have been fun, but also kind of scary.
Well, because I'm like, it's a rolly chair. Those things can be scary, man.
I know.
When you don't know the rolly chair I'm in right now, Ivan fell backwards on his back.
No.
Like in it. So it's like,
was he like leaning back? Either. How did that happen?
He was doing what I was doing, and he was just like rocking, and then it like.
Oh
but
you know,
you don't know how stable those things are. The wheels can be off. She could have flipped out of it. Totally. I wonder if there are any bloopers of her doing
Oh my God. I know. I'll have to look at the blooper reel. I think they have it on like the 4th or something DVD.
Okay.
But yeah, I will definitely be sharing those. They're not as accessible like on YouTube as the Office ones are, which is sad, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh well. But yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
it's fast.
coming in pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's running from Tammy 1, and this part of him like having a getaway stash in the parks, like, or not parks, but in City Hall, just showed how like scared and prepared he is at all times.
Absolutely.
Crazy. Yeah. Like, I wonder, this made me think, how many stashes does he have around town? Like, does he have one at JJ's? Does he have one at,
I bet you he does. I bet you he has one at JJ's. I bet you he has one at his house and at his cabin and like all these different places, you know?
Crazy. Also,
it's
this thing that,
crazy.
It is crazy. This thing that he takes from the shoe shine stand, I had to go back a little bit because it's not really a footrest, but it's near the chair. So I don't know what this is.
That's what it looked like to me. Like it was like maybe to step up into the chair.
Maybe.
Type thing.
I don't
know. Like on a really old shoe, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like how a new one would be made. But I mean, it's also fair that would be an old shoe shine.
Yeah.
Thing.
Shoe shine stand.
Shoe shine. But yeah, that's what it looked like to me. It also looked like, which I know it's not true, but it looked like a pedal on a piano.
Oh, yeah. Totally. But yeah, it just struck me that it wasn't like right in front of the chair. So I don't think it was a footrest. But anyway, regardless, he tears it off, sticks it in the wall so he can step on it and get to the vent to bust the stash out. And he has the stash backpack. Also, side note, 228 personal days. Like, has he not taken off ever?
Ever. But the other thing is too, and I don't know how the government works, but I feel like companies have pretty strict rules as to how many days you can take.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at a time.
Like, now, I've worked for places where your PTO does not roll over at all. Like, you get to the end of the year and it's done. Mm-hmm. But I've also, the place I work at currently, it rolls over, but only to a certain amount of hours. So if you have like, let's say 200 days left, but they only allow 150, you lose 50.
Right. That's so dumb. Oh my God. Yeah, anyway. I know. I can't remember the last place I worked. As far as like if they rolled over or not, but I do know that you accrue them like per hour too. Whereas this, like my current job, you just get a set amount of days, and I don't think they roll over. But the government actually, Brooklyn talks about that, and my mom, because she worked for the government too, talk about how the government actually has pretty decent like accruing rates, and you just take leave. Obviously, it has to get approved and all that stuff. So I think this makes sense for the government anyway.
Yeah. No, that's great.
But taking them all right now, so you're going to take basically the whole year off.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's doing.
Oh, my God.
It's insane.
He also keeps ground chuck in his desk, so remove it or it will smell.
Gross.
So
here's
wrong.
Here's my thing. If you bring it in the morning, even at lunchtime, it's going to be warm.
Yeah.
So why are you leaving that over time?
Or why isn't it in the
disgusting.
fridge? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can see Ron having like a mini fridge in his office, but like clarify.
But he said it's in his desk.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe you're right though. Maybe he does bring it in the morning time, like every day or something.
But even then, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours in your desk. Like,
and then he also has bacon in the ceiling that one time.
Oh, yeah.
I love
just
it.
Not sanitary.
This is the type of one-liner that this episode / season 4 just has so much of. It's so many random little pieces of each person's character that are like one line or 3 words or less, and you're just like, oh God, that's hilarious.
Or just a movement, even sometimes.
Exactly. Literally, because his run.
I have that written. His run is so perfect.
Shoving Jerry too.
Yeah. Yeah, just as he comes around the corner. I also want to point out, because last episode you pointed out that it really shows how long Donna's known Ron, right? Because she knows who Tammy 1 is. Mm-hmm. And now Leslie, she has that aha moment. So we also know that they have a pretty long-standing relationship as well.
Yeah, and I loved seeing the difference between Donna and Leslie, because Donna has been there longer than Leslie from what this seems like, because Leslie like knows, and she knows how scary it is, but it doesn't seem like as involved as Donna, you know?
Yeah. Well, and Donna, I feel like she doesn't scare easy.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so her response in the last episode, you're like, oh, this is bad.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love Leslie's face. I wrote that down. Like her face is like her eyes are just kind of bugging out. Like, what the fuck is happening? She doesn't even know how to respond, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Love it. So that was our cold open. Huge, crazy moment. And then Tom comes in after bragging about his swagger, handing out E720 merch. And you can see like what Detlef Schrempf said in the last episode, the hemorrhaging of money here, like a hockey jersey. Later he does a bathing suit, mouse pads, It's crazy.
There's one of those fire things.
Yeah.
Who fucking uses those?
Nobody.
That's such a waste of money.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, and Tom's
it's
talking
poor.
head of like, what exactly do we do? Let's just say it's too hard to explain.
Which...
Terrible business model.
I watched this with Ivan, who, if people don't know, owns a business and had to write a business plan and had to have a good idea. And we've been going strong for almost 6 years. So, I mean, he was like, oh, shoot, no, you should never, ever not be able to explain in one sentence what you do.
Right.
Because it's also that elevator pitch, which I'm sure most people have heard, right? When you have a career, when you have something you're selling, like I'm sure you have one for your arts, like you're acting and you're singing as an artist.
And for the
right?
podcast. I have to be able to tell people what the podcast is, like very shortly.
For everything. Yeah. It's like you get in an elevator with someone and by the time you reach your floor, you should have been able to already fully explain everything they need to know. Right. And the fact that he says it's too complicated is not good. So,
yeah. Well, and we talked about this when E720 was for like that long ass list of all the things they do, where it's just like the more niche, whatever the pronunciation of that is, the more niche it is, the better. Honestly, because you will find the people and then you can kind of grow out. Like people think broad spectrum is the best thing to do. And that's the same goes for everything, like songwriting. I remember the more people that can, or like the more specific you get, the more people will be able to relate to it. Even if they don't have the same exact experience, like say you say blue swing, but they had like, a slide, like they'll still be able to actually hone in on what you're saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so fascinating, the psychology of it all.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Ivan was giving me a good example that I wanted to share too is from his side, because we own a business, but we need other businesses too to function, right? Yeah. So we have, there's a huge, kind of like an E720 here that does marketing, radio ads, event planning, like it does all this stuff. Like Ivan said, like 8 to 10 different things, but they're not really good at one specific thing. So when he was trying to find all these different pieces, he works with 6 different companies rather than one. Yeah. Because they just weren't honing in and showing that they could do all the things. So it's like you're not going to be the first go-to when you do too much, because you're going to be too spread thin. Yeah. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, Tom. Okay, he's learning. This is his first time.
Yeah, but I now that I'm thinking about it, I really do like this because it doesn't kill him in the long run. It doesn't kill his entrepreneurial spirit. He goes on to make other companies. Yeah, but you're right. It's 100% a learning experience, and Ben reminds him of that later. Like, hey, we've got to take E720 and make it a stepping stone.
And the only way to move forward is to fail. That is, it's such a hard lesson to learn in literally anything. Like you want to lift heavier weights, you got to fail first at lifting that heavier weight so you can grow stronger and learn what you're doing wrong, X, Y, and Z, like anything. So okay, Tom, we'll come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you come back later too. So there's also this outfit.
I was just about to say that his fashion has changed. He's wearing a t-shirt with his chest hairs open,
which I'm super kind of grossed out by.
I know,
but at the same time, it does show he's taking a different role.
Totally,
like it separates him from everyone else in the office.
100%. And then later he has that little like Afghan scarf thing. Yeah, oh my God, so funny. How long has it been? 3 weeks. Did you notice, speaking of everybody kind of looking different, or not everybody, but Tom looking different, that Aubrey Plaza looks so much more grown up? Like she cut her hair.
It's the haircut.
But like, I feel like her face like looks not as teenagery. Like, and I was thinking
maybe
about
it's the makeup.
Maybe. I was also thinking about it too. Like, I feel like the first 3 seasons were very, squeezed in, because remember how Amy Poehler was pregnant and so they had to squeeze in 2 seasons at once, and so this time I feel like they had an actual hiatus, like an actual break, so I think there was more time for everybody to kind of grow up. But her haircut definitely changes her look too.
But I typically feel like people look older when their hair's shorter, like when they cut it, and that's not necessarily everybody, but that's a lot of my experience. Like I feel like right now, I feel like I look much younger than when I cut it up here. Like Bobby. Yeah. So,
But she's definitely more Aubrey Plaza looking, like the one that we recognize today. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, and I think they also, her clothes start to get a little bit more professional. It looks less like teenagery coming from high school. And then when her hair was long and stuff, it wasn't necessarily always like put together and like clean. With the bob, it always looks super slick and very tightly styled.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think there's definitely a timepiece here, but I think they also made a conscious effort to make her look more sophisticated and older.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, now Leslie's meeting with their campaign managers. One of them, Johnny Sneed. Woo! Great timing of his interview, so go back and listen to last week's if you haven't. I love Leslie says, how do you feel about my stance on Egyptian debt relief?
I don't think it's going to come up.
I know. Can I tell you I did a tiny deep dive on Egyptian debt relief?
Do it, yeah.
Because I was like, why, Leslie, why? And I Googled it. I didn't do a full thing, but basically there's an article from last year that says Egypt has dug itself into a hole and that the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, if you're familiar, is giving them a $3 billion loan. And this was from last year, so I can't imagine what it was like. I think it's just progressively gotten worse since 2011 when this aired. But this is... last year, it says this would have been the fourth aid package the country has gotten in 6 years. So 4 times they needed to be bailed out. And they said it was about how the pound has plummeted its value against the US dollar and everything is more expensive, like especially groceries, vegetables, like basic necessities, which is awful. But I love so I hope that they're doing okay now. I didn't look up what was happening in the news this year. But I do love, like you were talking about at the beginning, how these kind of ideas are just tossed around kind of as a throwaway in this show. And as we get into further episodes, we'll see even more. But it's just like it's so lovely, the amount of detail that goes into like what Leslie would be thinking about.
Right, because to us it is throwaway, but then when you look into it, it's like this is actually on par with what was happening.
Yeah, and it's a huge deal, and Leslie would definitely be knowing about that, like crazy. So.
And I think it just shows that even though this is a small position, she's made for something bigger.
Yeah, that's true too.
People working, like going for city council, they're not worried about those international type things. And Leslie's she's kind of above this role. I hate to say that, but she kind of is. And so I'm glad it's a stepping stone for her.
Yeah, me too. And it also just totally builds Leslie's character of like talking about stuff way down the line, thinking about stuff that does not matter at this point in time, not being present in the moment.
And I will...
Overzealous.
I will clearly outline that this is a part of Leslie Knope that is in me.
Yeah. Oh, same. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I worry about things and I'm like, oh, well, this hasn't even become an issue yet.
Right.
And I don't even have this as an option.
Yeah. So. Yep. That everybody does that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is the room in the interview that I said looked so small for all of them to be in. So just a friendly reminder. But I'm sure that there was like a missing wall or something that was fine. I love this talking head that she talks about while other girls were playing with dolls. She was playing with Geraldine Ferraro action figures that she made herself from a picture that she glued onto a popsicle stick.
I love it.
I do too. And this is also where, so Geraldine Ferraro is the one we talked about last week with Ben and Leslie's political role playing when Ron catches him on the phone. And she ran for Democratic VP with Walter Mondale, who would have been like Ben's role play. But it got cut for Reagan and Margaret Thatcher. So I'm really glad they worked Geraldine Ferraro in because friendly reminder that she passed away when they wanted to use her name. So they cut it. So I'm glad they could like honor her and put her in the show anyway.
Yeah. Just this cute little snippet later. I like it. This in the background, I looked because I wanted to see, like, they're obviously in City Hall because she runs into Ben, right? It's room 210, so they're on the second floor, and I always forget that like not everything's on the first floor in this because that's how I picture it. So that was cool, and it was called the Geographic Information Systems Cooperative.
Ooh,
was the name of the room. So.
I know.
Fancy.
Interesting. GIS is a thing. I wonder if that's what that usually stands for, like in the government. So I don't know.
Could be. I also have some tea.
Okay.
It is illegal to use government buildings to plan your own campaign.
Oh.
So this is technically in Indiana specifically.
Okay.
I didn't look up other states.
Yeah.
But it's technically illegal for them to be meeting in that room.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Even for city council?
Yeah. Literally any campaign you cannot meet in a government
building.
Yep.
Wow. Well.
Isn't that crazy? So she's actually doing less illegal shit when she's dating her campaign manager, because they meet at Andy and April's house all the time, or Anne's house.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. We're going to be breaking a lot of laws later. And I do wonder, like, when she gives the ornament and the, like, presents, it looks like they're in a different building. So I wonder if it, like, gets bigger or they pick different times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know. Yeah, that's wild. Well, Ben runs into her. Leslie tries to cover, and this is where she says it's the ladies' yacht club. I love Johnny's line of like, what? And then like the timing of closing the door.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I had watched this episode, obviously, before we met with him. But because I was watching this again, like for like my really deep dive, I was like, oh my gosh, the delivery of that is just so great.
It is.
Like, why?
So fast. Anchors away, ladies.
What?
I also don't feel like you can hear a Southern accent like at all when he's acting. But like when he speaks in our interview. No,
but in his interview. Yeah.
You could totally hear it.
It's a very slight drawl. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. Anne says, I can't believe she hasn't told Ben. And this is where our first like kind of Knopeism comes in, where Anne suggests Leslie keep sneaking around, which isn't great advice. Side note.
Yeah.
But I get where she's coming from because she just wants her friend to be happy. But Leslie says, you beautiful, sophisticated, naive newborn baby. This is our first one. So exciting.
Yay. I love it.
Also, her shirt has anchors on it. So the yacht club isn't that far away from. Maybe that's where she got the idea.
Out. Yeah. I liked it. I'm sorry. I love Anne, and I know that she wants Leslie to be happy, but that is such dumb advice.
Yeah, it's bad.
When she already knows how like in trouble she's going to be.
Yeah. Also last episode, she said, you have to tell him. Right. So I just. That's funny. Not last episode.
But.
When was it that she was like, you have to. Oh, maybe I'm getting that confused. She didn't say that last episode, I don't think. Huh. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, it's not great advice. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so Leslie says her plan is I'm going to postpone telling him until you figure out what I'm supposed to do. Which, oh my gosh, Leslie. Anne's always put in these crazy situations by Leslie.
Yeah. Which as a friend, I'm like, hell yeah, let's talk it through. But like, don't leave me and expect me to figure out that's a lot of pressure.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely.
No, thank you.
So this is where there's one of these deleted scenes, and it's really funny. Leslie calls it a Ben situation, like Ben situation. I love that.
Oh my gosh.
And she says it so fast too in the deleted scene. But anyways, she says that her plan right now, she has two Leslies, campaign Leslie and regular Leslie. And I'm going to play this voice clip because it comes back later in another deleted scene, but they ended up cutting the whole thing. But let me go ahead and see. Okay, I'll play it.
How do you possibly think you're going to be able to keep that secret from him?
I have split Leslie Knope into two people. Normal Leslie and campaign Leslie. Normal Blackberry, campaign Blackberry. Normal Padfolio, campaign Padfolio. Normal quad latte with extra whipped, campaign quad latte with extra whipped.
You just had 8 shots of espresso?
No, I had 4, as did campaign Leslie.
Oh my gosh, that's me.
Yeah, totally. I think we all have this of like split personality thing.
I just specifically the drink one.
Yeah.
Like got me.
Oh my God.
The way I would rationalize it. You just had that much? No. I had this much and this person had this much.
Right.
So it's fine.
It's fine. There's no big deal. And then her little espresso laugh at the end. Oh my God.
It's so well done. I wish they had kept that in.
I know. Yeah. It's super fun. They had a lot of fun deleted scenes, so we'll go from there. But I totally forgot that this was the episode where all the penises were sent out. Like, obviously, as it comes in, you're like, okay, that's right. But yeah, so funny.
I feel like this happens a lot. to me in this show where I'm like, I thought that was way later.
Yeah.
Or this happens here.
Right.
And I think it's because it's not, I mean, it's a main storyline-ish, right? But it's not, we're more worried about Leslie and Ben. Mm-hmm. And so this kind of becomes the side story, and then you forget which side story is connected to which main plot and all that.
Yeah, totally. Well, so because this is where Leslie and Ann get the dick pics, they sent it to every single woman. I love that Andy thinks it's an accident and Tom says it's a baller move, pun intended.
Oh my gosh.
Andy's so dumb. That's a crazy accident. No, he did it on purpose. Oh my God. And then this is when
facial expression, so good.
Yeah, especially when he realizes it wasn't an accident. He like gasps. This is when Chris comes in because of the pictures and says, if I could go back in time and cut your eyeballs out, I would. So they wouldn't have to see it. Oh my God. So funny. Also, what's up with Chris's hair? Did you notice? It looks like
it looks
a wig.
Super shaggy.
Yeah, super shaggy, unkempt.
It kind of looks like Jim in season 3 when he has to wear a wig because he was in Leatherheads. Ooh.
I know. We should look up if he was in another movie. I'm sure he was, but
I'm gonna do it right now because I want to.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, it just looked super unkempt, so I was like, that's not Chris, but whatever. And then Ben asks Leslie if she can go on Purge show to discuss this because they're having serious media requests about this.
She can do a Purge happily.
Hey.
I just can't. Yeah.
Well, which goes back to that one blooper when Leslie was like, I'm going to have to give Bert a blowjob so that this whole thing will go over well or whatever. Like, oh my God. And Amy Poehler makes that up. So fucking funny. I love that Tom says, Andrew, my mandrew. Super cute at the shoe shine stand. And Andy now has 5,000 candles in the wind for sale at the shoe shine stand. Love that.
Love it.
So cute. Are you finding anything?
Yeah. There's a whole article about it.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So Rob Lowe is not just a handsome man, but quite possibly the handsomest man. It's kind of his thing. So seeing him with even one hair out of place is equivalent of you or I literally walking around wearing a live Wolverine as a hairpiece. This is quite dramatic.
Yeah.
But since this season began, Lowe's Chris Traeger has styled an unkempt helmet of hair that begs for some explanation. Any explanation. Like, does Chris think lumpy hair protects his immune system?
Oh my God.
I keep waiting for one of the characters to call him out on it, to let us know that they're on the joke, and to reassure that Rob's hair is okay. According to the show's executive producer, Mike Schur, the mystery behind Traeger's hair was not a Parks and Recreation thing. Rather, Lowe simply needed to keep his hair longer for a movie he was doing for Lifetime called Damn You, Drew Peterson, which I've seen.
I've never seen it. Okay.
I've seen it because Drew Peterson was a guy who murdered his wives in Illinois, and they searched the corn maze across from my house for the barrels with the bodies.
Oh my God. That's terrifying.
My whole brain just did a full circle. Yeah. I'll look up a picture of what he looks like in that because
does he play Drew Peterson?
Yeah, he does.
Oh my God.
I watched it with my mom. And okay, so the movie came out obviously after, but she was like, you probably don't remember this, but when we lived here, the cornfield across from our neighborhood was being like dug up. And that's what they were looking for.
Oh my God. That's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy.
I'm not a huge like horror person, but I'll watch the trailer.
Yeah, do it. Oh, no, he wasn't Drew. It looks like he was. Oh no, he was. Yes, because he was a what's it called? He was a cop. Here we go. Let me zoom.
Oh my God, ew.
They made him look old too, huh?
They made him look so wrinkly in his like mustache. No.
Yeah. But, okay. So yeah, well, because here's the actual guy too. Hold on.
And so wait, Drew Peterson was a cop in real life?
Yeah.
Oh my God, crazy. Rob Lowe's too hot to play that guy, so they really tried to make him not be hot, but he would just, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he gained weight for it, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Look at that.
Looks like Kaylee Cuoco was in it, too.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. I think she was one of his wives. Kaylee Cuoco.
Oh my God. Okay. Big Bang Theory.
Bro, what a deep dive that I'm so enjoying and also crazy.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Wow. Okay. Love a on the fly deep dive moment. Yep. Wow. And that really helps me compartmentalize / like understand and justify this, because I definitely, what that article said is so true, because I was like, one hair out of place, let alone a whole fucking head of hairs out of place, is so not Chris Traeger.
And it really makes me wonder, like, why didn't we just put like a shorter wig on him that like was very nicely styled or something?
Or you could have styled his longer hair. I don't know. It's so strange. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like a mop.
Yeah, like I could totally see him being like gelled back a little bit even. I don't know. Whatever. That seems very strange to me, because they're always on point with hair and makeup. So it probably wasn't their decision, but whatever.
True.
Anyways.
But case closed.
Case closed. Good to know.
Both in real life and here.
Yeah, seriously. Okay,
because they caught him in real life.
Well, at the shoe shine stand, I also love that it's not really a shoe shine for Tom. Andy's brushing Tom's fur loafer things, which is really funny to me.
I also love if you catch it at the beginning of the scene where we're starting on Andy, he literally is about to throw the Pepto-Bismol. And
really?
He's got this really sweet like smile on his face where he's like, oh, is anybody gonna see me do it? And then he's like, oh, hey, Tom.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. Oh my God. And then that comes back later because he pours it on Kyle's shoes.
Yeah. Somebody really wanted to use the Pepto-Bismol for some reason.
Oh my God. Tom has a 720 necklace. His bling is totally, on display. And then Tom says Andy could have a place at Entertainment 720. And Andy's like, oh my God, what is that?
What is that?
I love that so much. I also love that one of the reasons.
It's a red flag for Tom. Like
he doesn't
you obviously,
know.
you're pretty close to him and he doesn't know. Like, it's also Andy's brain, but whatever.
Yeah, no, totally. I love that one of the reasons Andy would be good is because he can lift heavy things. Very complimentary. And then Tom says, are you living your dreams? Because I'm living mine. And gives Andy this card that is a black print on a black card so you can't see anything. And it's a magnet. I love that line, destroy your credit cards like debt and everything.
Debt and everything.
Oh my God.
That's one of my favorites. I have like 3 outlined from this episode.
There's so many. The Knopeism thing, the beautiful newborn naive baby is one of them. But yeah, I have multiple as well. This side note, this little credit card thing was a deleted scene. So what we see on Peacock right now was an extended cut. That was not originally aired. There are a couple things, and I'll tell them to you as we go along, but that was one of them that got cut. So I'm glad that stayed in though, because I feel like a lot of people remember that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that business card is so stupid.
It's so stupid. And it goes on. One part that they did cut was where he says his business card is unreadable and everyone loves a mystery. Oh my God. Tom. And apparently Chris Angel said that on Mind Freak. And Chris Angel, I think, is like an illusionist or whatever, right?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, you're crazy. But anyway.
It's insane.
So now Chris is on the phone with the mayor, and this is one of my favorite lines too. I promise you, we will find the owner of that wiener, and we will punish him.
Punish the wiener guy.
Oh my God. Which is like so funny to me that's how he's talking about the problem to the mayor, like not professionally. He could have said, we will find the owner of whoever sent that picture, and we will punish him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
he's very literal.
Very literal. And you totally can tell, I don't know, in my head I was like, okay, so he's not talking to the mayor. This is just for comedy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But Anne comes in now and says that there was something disturbing about the testicles. And I love Chris's line. I wrote it down because I feel the same way.
Yes, it's good. Yeah.
The testicles are like the ears of the genital system. They serve a very important function, but they're not that great to look at. Love Anne's look to the camera. It's
okay,
so
wow.
Anne is speaking medically. They are enlarged, and I love that. You really know your testes, Anne Perkins. Thank you.
Thanks.
That whole little
all just weird conversation because they've dated too.
Yeah,
so it's like
Oh my God, that whole scene. Chris is really, like, they gave him a lot of comedy in this one, which I don't feel like they usually do, at least to this level. And so I'm really glad that, it's coming together. It's really funny. All right, so now I'm at where Perd and Leslie are talking, if you are.
Yeah, and I like this field reporting.
I do too.
Like we don't see Perd out of the studio a lot.
Right.
So it's kind of, I like this.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because the way Ben phrases it of like, can you do Perd's show? It's like you would think that she's going into the studio, but yeah, this field reporting, I don't know where it is. It looks super cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look like City Hall, like because the outside of City Hall, right, that we've been shown, it doesn't look like these are the same buildings.
Right. I love this. Frankly, Perd, it's not that big of a deal, if you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? And then he laughs when he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. It had the cadence of a joke.
Yeah. I can't.
I do love that, though, when Antonio is like, or Antonio, who plays the actress of the lady campaign manager, where she says that soundbite is gold. It's so true. That is such a wonderful line of, like, maybe it's time for more women to be in charge. And I love her playing this campaign manager. I really do. I hope maybe we can talk to her. But I just like how concise she is and how, like, very methodical, and she knows what she's talking about. I just really liked the acting on that.
Yeah, I like it too. I also like the fact that they're using this for campaigning now, but Leslie didn't do anything differently than she would have done if she wasn't running.
Right, that's true.
So I like that because I feel like when people start to run, they start to put more emphasis on things that they think people will care about. And it's like, but do you actually care about that when you're not running for office? And I think this is awesome because Leslie would care about this if she wasn't. So
yeah, and she might not have like phrased it in exactly that way because of running, but like she definitely has that same exact thought process. So I think it's great.
And her morals and her heart, right, are in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also have a comment because when we were in the Ladies Yacht Club earlier and she was leaving, they said, well, we'll see you next week. But they're here like the same day.
Oh, interesting.
It's the same day or the next day. I thought, so this is where I was going to go back and look and I forgot to, because I think Leslie's dressed in the same stuff.
Interesting.
So I don't know if they like called an impromptu meeting because of what was happening.
Oh, maybe.
But
I don't even remember them
weird.
saying, see you next week. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I had it written down earlier too.
Okay.
Because I was like, is meeting once a week really enough for a campaign?
Yeah.
But then I remembered they hadn't like announced it or anything yet. So I was like, oh, maybe it's
right.
Fine. That's why I didn't
like
say anything.
In the scheduling. Yeah. And that could make sense that they called the impromptu meeting. That would be a way to justify it because William Barnes then says, we're going to capitalize on this moment. We're going to announce your candidacy on Friday instead of 3 months.
She's so not ready.
Oh my God. Leslie panics and just keeps talking and like, yep. I've just been postponing something, but yay. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It's not, sorry, I'm looking. That's with the gray suit jacket and the anchors. This is the same day.
Interesting. Okay.
So
we're going to say it's an impromptu meeting.
Yeah. Love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And then she changes. I'll get to that later. We don't have to worry about it right now.
Okay. Well, Leslie is panicking and she goes to Ben's office and he's on the phone, but she hangs it up for him. And he was like talking to his brother that just had a baby girl. And I love that line of like, oh, that's awful. Oh, actually, I don't know. I didn't listen to what you just said. Full disclosure.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I did not. Which this is a steamroller moment for me with Leslie, right? We have a big episode around it later, but like that's really exciting. He's an uncle.
Yeah.
And and this is a person I mean, you haven't said it yet, but I'm pretty sure you love him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, we need to, hey man, like have some sympathy for him and not be trying to steamroll. I think she just can't, she's too dysregulated with everything else that's going on.
Panic mode.
Yeah. Panic mode. And the other note I had, kind of moving between these two scenes, right, is when she's told that they're going to announce her candidacy. This is supposed to be one of the most exciting moments for her.
I know.
She can't be excited.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart when I watch it because it's like, you've been dreaming of something like this for so long. And it's just so sad.
I know. The timing is so inopportune.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously still happy, but like that's the first thing that she thinks about is what she's gonna have to tell Ben, and that sucks, dude. But yeah, this is I mean, I think it's very also realistic / relatable for someone to just immediately go into panic mode. Obviously, it's dramatized and whatever here, but it makes total sense. And I love this, like when she goes into Ben's office after she hangs up, like she tries to tell him, she tries to get it out, and then Ben shows her an L-shaped eclair. Oh, I laughed out loud when I laughed out loud when she smiles and she cries because she immediately
she doesn't know how to feel.
I know.
Like there's too many things happening, right? She's got this disappointment that she's running for office, but also very much excitement, right? She's got this disappointment that she can't share this huge thing with the person she loves, and she's ready to break up with him so she can do this other thing she loves. And then she's like, oh my gosh,
but I can't break up with you because you gave me an eclair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so cute. I would do the same exact thing. Also, if someone gave me an H-shaped eclair, I would not break up with them.
I think it shows how innocent their relationship is too. That's what makes her happy.
Gets her.
Yeah. It's just,
so cute.
I understand the turmoil.
I totally. Oh my God.
So
I love
well
that.
done.
Something so small just like makes so much of a difference. Oh God. But so this is where Leslie's talking to Anne, and Anne is asking how the breakup went, and Leslie says she basically opposite of broke up with him. I love this reading. This is also another one of my favorite lines where she's like, he gave me an eclair, Anne.
Can I play it?
Yes.
Because I'm on it right now.
Please.
And I really love this scene. I also pulled it up because I love Anne's outfit.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll show you that in a second, too.
Yeah.
Part of this might be Leslie crying. I'm going to take my headphone off so I can hear, too.
Hey, how are you?
Bad, really bad.
Oh, God, how did the breakup go?
Well, I started crying because he gave me an eclair, and then we made out and spent the night together. But this morning, in the cold light of day, I cooked breakfast and we made out some more.
Wow, you opposite of broke up with him.
He gave me an eclair, Anne.
So good.
Just because you think, and
so
Anne's
glad you played
response,
that.
too, is just like her facial expressions are like, wait, this sounds like you're breaking up with him, and then it's in the cold light of day.
Yes, totally. And then we made out some
good.
more.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
that's Anne's outfit. Yeah, I'm all about what
when
Anne's
she
wearing
stands
this whole
up,
season.
you can't tell. There was a deleted scene where she's standing, but you can't tell too much in the actual episode. It's like this denim looking pleated skirt.
It's really cute.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I really
cute.
love it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, you were saying before I rudely interrupted with my outfit.
No, I love that. I'm so glad we played it because it's so perfect. The back and forth.
It's hard to emulate.
It's so good. And I would have done the same thing. Like I said, I would have forgotten everything and just done the exact same thing as Leslie. I love that little couplet. It's one of my, or not couplet, but that little scene of dialogue. It's so, so good.
Yeah.
I love Anne's face throughout the whole thing, but this is where the deleted scene happens, where Leslie asks Anne to role play. I'll pretend to be. Okay. Anne says, "I'll pretend to be you," and break up with Ben, and Leslie's going to be Ben. And I call this, oh my gosh, you'll see why, but I call this the Michael Scott Leslie Knope crossover. You'll see.
It's really sweet. Unfortunately, what that means is that we will need to break up.
What? No. No, 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 no. No, no, no way. No way. Not cool, Leslie. Not cool. How could you, man?
Man?
That did not go well, Anne. Let's try it again. Maybe this time just don't destroy him, when you tell him the news.
Okay. Ben?
You're breaking up with me, aren't you, you bastard?
And it just keeps going on and on and on with different situations, but basically the same thing where Leslie just freaks out. But I loved that. I was like, no, no, no.
No, no. Not cool.
Man. And I love that, when she breaks character, she's like, that did not go well, Anne. How are you going to make it better?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Sadness. All right. It's so good. So Chris and Ben are meeting with Joe from Sewage because he is the one that sent the lewd picture, which is a nice way of putting it. He said lewd picture. He sent it from his personal email, stinkmaster69 at alumni.saralawrence.edu. I think that's such a beautiful detail.
So good. And I love that they give him crap for it. Sarah Lawrence, I wanted a small college experience.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God. This also reminds me of when we were talking about Tom sending emails for personal gain to city council and how we did that deep dive on ethics and whatever in government offices. And we thought it was so dumb for people to have porn or crazy things on their work computers. But this is these people. Joe is those people. And it's based in reality, as you mentioned earlier. It's insane.
Yeah.
He plays it so well. Like, he's so proud of it, which is just the epitome of this character and these types of men. Someone's got mumps on his lumps. He's excited about it. Also, Ben's look to camera is so good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's just, it shows you how unsocially aware he is that this is wrong with how proud of himself he is.
Yep. It's insane. This reminds me, I'm doing too much Office crossover in this one, but I don't care. This reminds me a lot of Todd Packer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's same vibes.
Yeah. I'm glad he doesn't stick around as much as Todd Packer does.
That's true.
Because there's points where I'm like, all right, I'm done with Todd.
Yeah. Oh my God. Todd's worse, I feel almost. I don't know. I feel like Todd has like a menacing kind of like vitriol underneath it.
And Todd brings his grossness on everyone in the office too.
Yeah. But anyway, friendly reminder, by the way, I just wanted to give shouts to Kirk Fox, who plays Joe from Sewage. He is a comedian, stand-up, sketch, whatever, actor, everything. Not whatever, but you know what I mean. So follow him on Instagram. I'll tag him. And he has a lot of like funny one-liners that he posts on his Instagram from his stand-up shows, which are really fun. But I did want to say there's a whole deleted scene here and it's like, I didn't record it, but I'm just going to explain it to you. It's so funny. So apparently Joe wants to sue Anne personally for a $200 million lawsuit for wrongful termination, which lies, not wrongful at all. No. Reverse harassment, which isn't a thing. Copyright infringement, and the Constitution is what he wrote. Because they blocked his email, and then he says it's cock blocking is another reason why he wants to sue her. Also, his last name in this deleted scene is Fantringham. They call him Joe Fantringham. And I was like, I've never heard his last name before.
I don't think
Joe
we
from
knew
Sewage.
It. Yeah.
But, what I did record, though, is Anne's clapback to him. And I'm really sad they cut it because it totally shows a side of Anne I don't think we see enough. But I'll play it.
This ends here.
Anne? Get used to this.
Get out, moron. Nobody wants you here. Nobody's on your side. And frankly, considering your height, it's not that impressive. So if you want to continue with your lawsuit, I would be happy to talk about that on the record.
I see what's going on. You're into me.
You're delusional. Get out.
Fine. I'll leave. But you've seen my unit. Can't take that away from me. Van's out back. Let's roll.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Anne. Well played, Anne.
Gosh.
Oh, and there's the chief of police's penis. I have to go.
I just love that. Anne's like, fuck you, fuck this, goodbye.
Yeah. Does that happen later when she's in Chris's office complaining about the penises?
It's like a whole other section. Like, she comes into his office because Ben and Chris called her up there to tell her this, but it didn't seem like the same time because they're in. Actually, Chris calls her up to Joe's office. Like, Joe's sitting behind a desk, so I think it's just a whole other section. But yeah, I loved it.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great. Before we move on from this little snippet, too. There's a little, I don't want to call it like an oops, but it kind of is. Yeah. When Joe puts his hand up for a high five, he's doing his right hand from behind. And then when we get the other shot, his left hand's up.
Continuity error. Oh my God. Good catch.
Continuity error.
Yes. Oh my God. Great catch. Love those so
you.
much. I love seeing that stuff.
They're great.
I mean, it's obvious. I love seeing it because it just shows everyone's human, but like,
but absolutely.
And also, if you can, we only catch like a couple of them. It's not like we see it all the time, which is like insane. The amount of like continuity people that are on watching that, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yay. I just love that Joe is so delusional in that deleted scene where he's like, let's go, Anne. And then it's so funny. His cute little like, goodbye, Anne. He's like giving up finally.
Oh, gosh.
Love that.
I have another note that I made at the top that was linked to a scene that's already happened, and I forgot to go back.
Oh, yeah.
to
Let's
note.
talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay. It's literally the first scene when Ron grabs his to-go bag. Mm-hmm. It says Tammy won on the back.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Great catch. Love that detail.
Okay. I think that's it now.
Okay. No, I love that. Okay, cool. Yeah. He has to have it labeled, man. Could have been. I wonder what the difference is between the Tammy 1 and Tammy 2 go bag.
Yeah.
Condoms and stuff in Tammy 2.
That's what I was going to say.
And peanuts and whatever the hell they brought for energy.
Right.
That
Gatorade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. April's in Ron's chair, answering phones badly and weirdly. Chris asks, as his manager, what should he do about the job offer that Tom gave him? And I love this so much. What do you want to do? So take it. So don't take it. So take it. And then Andy's like, you give such good advice. Like, you're so
Great
smart.
advice. When she did nothing.
She did nothing. I love it.
But she does something later.
Yeah.
She takes it and she keeps an eye out for him.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And now Anne says everyone's sending her pictures of their junk to be diagnosed, which also wouldn't that require all of those people to be fired by the same logic? Like they're sending for a different reason, but still, like you shouldn't be sending your picture of your dick to your coworker.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's probably the difference that they're going to do with not firing everyone is that Joe sent it to everyone.
Yeah.
And then they all found out that he got diagnosed by Anne.
Right.
And so they were like, oh, she'll check ours too.
Yeah.
So I think there's less malice in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's right.
Right.
But
oh my God.
there's less malice, and I think that's why they might not lose their jobs.
Right.
So
well, we'll talk about it a little bit later too when we get to that like conference that Chris holds. And I'll have some thoughts there. But anyway, yeah. So I also love, Ed Miller from Payroll is one of the ones. He has a nice bod.
that's what I wrote. Like, he's jacked. I don't know if I'd be mad about that one.
And I was like, oh, that's a nice spot.
Yeah. He works out.
Yeah, he works out.
You know?
That's so funny. Love that.
I like that we had the same note.
Yes. Oh my God. Leslie looks so cute in this next scene. Her cute little pink outfit. It's so precious. I love it so much.
Oh, yeah.
When they're on their date.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute. I love this line of, I'll take the cheapest one you have because I can't tell the difference. Because she's trying to be direct and honest, but she's direct and honest to the waitress, not to Ben. She takes Anne's advice and does not use it for where it's supposed to be.
I want to order like that now.
Yeah.
I want to order like that now. Like, give me the cheapest one you have. I literally cannot tell the difference.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Highly encourage that.
In the scene right before this, when she's in with Anne, I absolutely love the fact that her phone's still beeping.
Yes.
And then she's like, no, it's just penises.
I know. I like that too.
I love that. There's also, I read something, which I don't know if this is true because I didn't go back and look. But there was a little note. It was on, I think it might have been on IMDb even, but it said that the briefcase in Anne's office is the one that Mark gives her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like,
awesome.
I probably would want to go back and look at what she gives her.
Like the laptop bag or whatever that Tom gives him shit for. Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that Mark's picture stays in Ron's office the entire time. Like of the park that they drew for, what was it? The camel. I love that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
Good old Mark. I liked him. Whatever. I will stand by it. All right. Now, so again, we're at the restaurant. I was wondering where they're having dinner because this does not look like it would be in Pawnee. And also someone could catch them. Someone could see them. Have we learned nothing? Hello?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
It also looks like kind of like the same place that Anne and Chris go on a date in, and then Ben and Leslie show up, as well as the one where Leslie goes on that blind date that her mom sets her up with the old guy.
Oh, interesting.
They kind of look like the same places to me.
Same vibes. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I asked Shauna where some of these locations were, but she hasn't gotten back to me, which, by the way, follow Shauna Hagen on Instagram because she is doing so much. She has the Welcome to Flatch out, and then she also has, oh my gosh, it's on HBO, Somebody Somewhere, I think is what it's called. And that's coming back for a new season. So
perfect.
Yeah, so
she's awesome.
So cool.
She's so passionate about what she does. Like, we should definitely be following her.
Yes, everybody should be following her. Oh my gosh, love it. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, I would love to hear where some of these locations are because I'm sure she would remember. But if you know what, I should message Tom as well, the other camera operator, and see if he might know, if Shauna doesn't get back to me. So, okay, good to know. I do have a bit of a breakdown on this waitress. I know she had a little small part, but she is awesome. Her name is Jasmine Simon, and this is her first ever TV credit that I saw on IMDb.
Nice.
I'm sure she did other things before this, but that's really cool and great. But she was in Psych the movie and a couple of other Psych projects, and she's married to Dule Hill, who is the lead character, one of the lead characters on Psych.
Psych is one of my favorite shows of all time.
I know. I was going to tell you that. I have it on my list. I have never watched any of it, so I think I'd like it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Connor and I have watched that through probably 3 times together.
Nice.
And we like totally vibe off of, we've got this Sean Gus thing going on.
Yeah.
So
like
I absolutely
chemistry.
love that show. I don't quote it, but there's this thing that Gus does, Dule Hill, where he goes, come on. And so like if somebody says something like, that's where I get it.
Oh,
and, like,
nice.
Nobody ever knows.
I love that.
So it's just
that's so cool.
Me doing it by myself. But it's a phenomenal show. If you haven't seen it, everybody go watch Psych. It's on Peacock.
Love it.
And there are 2 movies, and they are both, I believe, musicals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah, she's in a couple of the Psych Projects movies, I think. She might have been on the show too. I don't know. But either way, she works a lot with him. She was also on Lockdown, Raising Dion. Lockdown is the HBO show with Anne Hathaway. She's also in The Wonder Years with Dule Hill, which is a revival of that show that was back.
I think she dated him in the show.
Oh, really? Like as characters?
Cute. Yeah.
That's so precious. I don't know the timeline of like, did they meet on the show or what? But
they got married in 2018. So, Psych 2, the movie, Psych the movie. So cute.
I can't believe
so they got married after Psych the movie.
Okay. So yeah, maybe they did meet on the show. Either way, the biggest thing that I wanted to say is that she and Dule Hill wrote a children's book called Repeat After Me, Big Things to Say Every Day. I'm going to tag it in our show notes, and I'll probably put a picture in the stories. It is so precious. It's a picture book filled with beautiful, inspiring affirmations reminding kiddos of their infinite wonder. I was reading the description, and I feel like we all need this book regardless of if you are a child or not, because there are affirmations like, I am enough, I am loved, I am worthy. That is so awesome. And they also have a son, and he is so freaking precious. Again, I'm going to tag her. I messaged her agents. She's going to send us some voice memos. She had a busy work week, so she couldn't send them to us now for this episode, but I'm going to play them on the replay for recap for next episode. But she's so cool.
I would cry if I got to talk to Dule Hill.
Oh my god!
Just saying.
Okay, well, I'll tell her that we're
great
fans.
to hear from her. Yeah, tell her like, yeah, I'm about it. Because Dule Hill and why am I going to blank on his name? The guy that plays Sean. They're really close in real life.
Yeah,
like they were really close friends.
Aww.
So I love all of it. Also, he's super cute and attractive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he's hot. Good job, Jasmine.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you're gorgeous. So
she's gorgeous, too.
It balances out so
and their
greatly.
kid is like just a perfect combination of the cuteness and the smartness, and they're so wonderful. So
yes, I love it.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny because she has literally like one little line of, being a waitress, and then she's just like, I was like, I'm going on a deep dive of her. So she's super cool. And hopefully we'll get some good answers and stuff with her. Anyway, okay, so like I said, I'll tag that book in our Instagram and stuff. Okay,
Awesome.
So, Ben tries to give her a present. She panics, leaves, and goes to Ron's to hide out. And it's just like she's just running away from her problems.
But it's so blatant to me.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
This is a person you're close with. Like, they're not just together. They're friends. Mm-hmm. They're close. It's not just like she's dating this guy, right? Like, it's a little bit deeper than that already.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not running away. And then watch me run away.
I know. I love her that she does that whole like fake out of like, oh yeah, like she sees someone and then she just leaves and Ben sees her in plain light of day.
Yeah. And like, you're not like subtle.
Yeah. Nope. Not at all. That is not the name of her game.
Yeah.
Love Ron's facial hair at the cabin. Oh my God. It's so cute.
First note.
Facial hair.
Love the facial hair.
Maddie and I had matching notes. Love
As
that
always.
So as always. I love that Leslie's explaining all her problems the next morning and Ron's acting of like, I just
He's
love
like,
this
I didn't
line
ask.
You're right. Well, he's like, if you're going to stay here, there are 3 rules you need to follow. I just love that his voice goes up like he's trying to be nice, but also like you can't talk and be here at the same time.
Right.
1, no talk about Tammy. 2, no talk about Ben. 3, no talk.
3, no talk. Yeah, I love it.
Hunting, fishing, or drinking. And this is another one that I highlighted this line. I'd really love to shoot a gun right now. Fishing it is.
Fishing it is. I have a what?
So funny.
What the heck?
Also, This is another part that kind of goes back to one of the deleted scenes where they're hunting. They're not fishing, but they are hunting. And they cut it where Ron and Leslie are out in the forest and her 2 cell phones keep ringing. Like, because she has one for campaign Leslie and one for regular Leslie. And he says pull. And I was like, what does that mean? Oh. And she throws up her cell phone like he's shooting pigeons. You know what I mean? Like, bula, bula, bula.
Yeah.
And, or clay or whatever. And he shoots the cell phones and it's really funny.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
So they're having their moment. Do you have anything before Chris is having a meeting with all the dudes that sent their wiener pics?
I don't. And I have, my first note is that I really love Anne's outfit. So that's why I was looking at things because I just want to dress like Anne for the rest of my life.
You should really
basically
create a board or like an album of the pictures and go get that stuff.
Literally, I have, side note, I have started a Pinterest page about all the things I want to wear.
Nice. Great call.
Oh
yeah, I love that cardigan.
Well, and it's like the color of the cardigan plus the black underneath.
Yeah.
But it's also like a textured black because it's got like the lines. It's just like I cannot wait to talk to anybody from the costume department because this is amazing. And I know.
Kirsten Mann. We'll see you soon. Hello.
Yeah.
Someone says, I love this. There's a guy that says, someone says, what if there's a grave and immediate emergency? Could I then show you my dong? Call 911, you dummy. Men are awful. I hate them sometimes.
Wow. Yeah.
They're just so stupid. This guy who plays this, I have to do a deep dive on him. His name is Dennis Howard. He was known for Star Trek Enterprise, Airplane 2. He was in MASH, Little House on the Prairie. I mean, he started working in the 70s, so he's like super experienced. But he has since passed away. He passed away in 2014, so only like 3 years after this episode. I know.
And he doesn't look that old.
He wasn't. So pour one out, and it looks like Parks was his second to last thing on his IMDb.
Wow.
So great job. Love that. You did a great job. I laughed out loud at those lines. So we love that.
Yeah. Great delivery.
We have quite the in memoriam. Like if we ever to do a Parks in memoriam, like we would have a lot of people, which is kind of sad, but also so great that we can keep honoring them by watching this show.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. They left their mark.
Yeah. Then I've got that line that he says, let's say I've been watching a lot of women's golf and I've had a lot of wine. Like,
I love that women's golf is what's going to get him off.
I know. But also, like, if you can't text her when there's an emergency, why would you think that you can text her when you're having some wine and getting turned on? That's why it's so funny.
Yeah. Not logical. Yeah. I love that she gets the text and she pushes the phone off. It's great. Yeah. Very well done.
And this is when she says she's going to get someone from the hospital to do the screenings to make sure everyone is healthy. A male one.
Great idea.
Great idea, Anne.
Yeah, good job.
Also, like, it's just really funny because to your point of her pushing away her phone when she gets a message, like, they literally just said it was harassment, yet you're still sending them. And that's one of the things that I don't know why it just struck me, and it's probably because of the age and the year that we're in. But, like, Chris doesn't really hammer this down, like, stop sending the pictures or you're fired.
He really could have.
He could have done so much more, I feel.
Yeah. And I don't, this fell before the Me Too movement and stuff, right? Not to say that it's right, but I think that kind of opened people's eyes to like how often this happens to women, like this kind of stuff. And that we actually need to, it's not just okay because they're a guy, they can act that way. That's not okay.
It's unsolicited. I don't want to see a penis that I didn't fucking ask to see. How many times do I have to fucking say it? I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful. And I agree. I think a Chris, put aside the fact that he's her boss and he's in charge of everybody, and he could have literally said, you send that text message and you're fired.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
or like suspend or whatever. I mean, it's not enough, but like, I just hated that in that moment when we had gotten up to this part of the episode where like we've talked about it for so long, and Chris, you're standing right there saying it was harassment, yet they're still sending it and nothing's happening.
Right. Well, and then my other piece is, not only are you the boss and in charge of these people, you have a relationship with Anne outside of this, and you should care more about what's happening to her.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, I mean, because I think, sometimes it helps people put things in perspective when it's happening to someone they care about and they love. And it's like, you obviously care about Anne, regardless of whether it's romantic or whatever right now. Like, you should have done something to stick up for her, because she's setting her boundaries and they're crossing them.
Yeah.
So now it's your job to step up.
Yeah. It was very annoying to me, this little whole meeting. I mean, obviously I love this guy because it totally just like comedically says what is happening in the world with these dumbasses, but it's just like, that part made me angry. I was like, you just said it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Tom has new merch. The bag is $7.20. Umbrella, fly swatters, Rubik's Cube, breath mints. This is where the fireplace thing comes in. Keychain. Like, and then April points out the obvious, saying like, shouldn't you be working at your new company?
Yeah.
Like, and there's a really funny deleted scene actually where he says the best part of being your own boss is setting your schedule, like setting your own schedule. So he says he spent Monday working 1 to 2, Tuesday working 4 to 4:15, and then he worked 23 hours hosting a Jamie Foxx film festival, and then he took off for the weekend because he needed the rest.
Oh my gosh. Yikes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, and go ahead.
I just, when you're starting your own business, you have to have a lot of self-motivation, because you don't have a boss that's sitting there and is like, this is what we expect of you. You have all this free space to either plummet or be successful. And I think we're still seeing that part of Tom that doesn't know what it takes.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to be an entrepreneur. He wants to be his own boss. Yeah. But he doesn't know the guidelines he's going to have to put on himself yet.
Yeah. And like learning as you go, like you have to do all the research. Like no one else is going to tell, like, because you don't know the ins and outs of how the company works yet. So you really have to be able to like just research a bunch all the time. So and it's really funny to me though when April brings that up, when he says he's making contacts, and that's part of his like business thing. And then he brings up Bethany Frankel, which I knew the name, but I totally forgot who it was. For those of you who don't know, this is her bio. She's an American businesswoman, television personality, entrepreneur, and author. But basically what people know her for also was she was in The Real Housewives of New York City. And she appeared in 8 of the 13 seasons, and it premiered in 2008. So this is definitely timely for Tom to know her. And in 2009, she founded the lifestyle brand Skinny Girl, which, to be honest, I didn't even look that up because I hate that name. And I'm sorry, Bethany Frankel. I know you're probably rich and wonderful, but I'm not doing a company that calls women skinny or not.
I've heard of that.
It's a famous company. It is. It really is. It's very successful. So like,
but I agree with you.
Good for you, like, but also I hate that name. And then he gives Jerry breath strips with E720. Like what?
I'm so sorry. This is such a complete waste of money.
It's just insane. Like, you can do stickers. Stickers are cheap and fun for everyone.
Stickers are great. We did stickers in the beginning.
It's a great way. And
Absolutely.
I can't
Bumper stickers.
Yeah, bumper stickers. Sticker Mule, I think, is the one that I used, and they're super
That's
fun.
what we use too.
Yeah, everybody uses them, and they're super fun and cheap, and they're very good quality.
They are, yeah.
That's something I'm also researching as well. I want to get merch for the show, for our show.
Sticker Mule. You could go ahead and sponsor us a little bit.
Yeah,
because we are plugging you here, and this is with genuine. We've used you before.
Very true. Yeah, and now there's merch companies which you guys don't need to know this, but if you are an entrepreneur / want this, there are merch companies where you don't have to buy like a whole stock of things. Like you can just say how much people are actually ordering, and then they'll send it to that person, as opposed to like having boxes and boxes of merch in your house and that never gets sold that you paid for up front. A lot of my musician friends have been telling me about it, so that's probably what's going to happen in the near future when I'm done researching marketing. But anyway, I just breath strips. I would never think to give somebody a Park Pals breath strip.
No. A keychain. Keychain was on point for me. That's cute.
Water bottles. Love that.
Yep. Water bottles cute.
I love this part when April says, okay, everybody get back to work. And Jerry's like, you're not our boss. What did you just say to me? She makes everybody second guess, like, wait, is she the boss?
Right. No, she's got the attitude for it.
Yep.
I like it.
Then Tom asks if Andy thought about the job offer, and Andy doesn't want to work for a company that puts logos on stuff. He's just not sure. And that's, I mean, to everyone's credit, to Andy's credit, that's what he's been doing this whole episode. So how are we to know that that's not what his company does?
I thought this should have been a huge red flag to Tom. That you've been in this office 3 times this week, and Andy thinks you put logos on shit for a living.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Clue in, man.
Oh my God.
I
love the bathing suit that Donna puts on. It's so funny. And like each of their faces are on her boobs. Yes, I love that line. I could do without this one. The John Ralphio. Yeah. So funny. Yeah. All right. Well, back with Leslie and Ron. Ron is talking about running for office, and Ron said, or Leslie running for office, and Ron says she'll win. I love this line. I say this line frequently where, even though if it's not always true, I always carry emergency s'more rations in my car.
Yeah. I love that.
Is also... oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because she says later, like, with your stash of food, your hunting skills, and my stash of chocolate, we could be here for 2 or 3 years. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? How much chocolate do you have? Also
go ahead. I think we're about to say the same thing.
It's warm enough in Indiana that's all going to melt.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, are you carrying them in a cooler? Do you not care?
Which the cooler's only going to do so much.
Right. Oh my God. I just love the idea of them all, like chocolate melting, being in the back of her trunk. And she's like, yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Still lasts us 2 to 3 years.
Right. There was a deleted scene here, which I think is really funny, explaining more of her rations and more of the things that she has. So here you go.
Things I keep in my car: rope, blankets, batteries, walkie-talkie, evening gown, golf balls, iodine, leotard, George Foreman grill, Montel Williams juicer, knee socks, scotch tape, and Hawaiian lays. Basically everything you need for an emergency.
See what I'm saying about the Office crossover? George Foreman grill?
Yes, with the George Foreman grill.
Evening gown.
Also, what are Hawaiian lays? I'm looking that up.
Oh, the necklaces. Like the flower necklaces?
My stupid ass was thinking about the chips.
What flavor of Lay's is it? Like a coconut?
Right. It's like, what is
That's
happening?
So funny.
That's so stupid, because I obviously know what Hawaiian Lays are.
No. Oh my God, that's so funny. Also, do you know there's a George Foreman movie coming out?
No way.
Yeah, I went to go see Women Talking. I think that's what it was. I've been watching all the Oscar movies, and which we have to talk about because I'm having an Oscar party, and it's reminding me of when we were in college.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm watching all the Oscar movies, and yeah, George Foreman, a trailer came on before one of them, and I was like, what is this? And I didn't even realize. I'm so dumb. Like, I only know because of, our age, that George Foreman was the grill, and he was like something before, but it talks about his boxing life and how he was like a prominent boxer. I did not know that. Sorry. But yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was funny, and Leslie is, a queen for having all those things in her trunk at all times.
Yeah. Well, the first 4 or 5, I was like, yeah, that's great. I mean, especially in Indiana in the winter, sometimes you get some pretty bad snowstorms, having blankets and batteries and whatnot. Like, I'm totally on board with that. And then she said evening gown, and I was like, oh, it
reminds me of her house, like her hoarder house. She has a hoarder car too.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I don't know where this was shot. This is another reason why I emailed Shauna. So maybe I'll do a recap if she messages me back or Tom, but that's okay.
Absolutely.
It's still beautiful. Ron tells the story of his toe falling off because his brother shot him with a nail gun. You only have 9 toes.
9 toes. I have the toes that I have.
Just leave it at that. Also didn't know he had a brother. Great little first time we learned that.
Yeah, this is the first family member we hear about, I believe.
I think so too.
And then it starts to fill out.
Right. Yep.
So.
But basically Ron's point is that if he had gone in right away for the toe, the doctor could have saved it. So you basically saying you can't run away from your problems. And then I love Leslie, especially if you only have 9 toes. Sorry, that wasn't calling for. This is what I mean. Like the writing and the banter in this episode, they're just so smart. It's so good.
Very on character.
And I'm Ron Swanson and you're Leslie fucking Knope. So good. Love this friendship mentor moment. Great.
The confidence. Like, yeah, you guys are these people. You can handle whatever's thrown at you, especially when you're together. Like the two of you support each other, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So now I'm at where April and Andy are talking about Andy's dreams, technically, because April's like, well, what is your dream? And also Kyle is back. Love that. He had 2 episodes in a row because he was also in Little Sebastian.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
And like you said before, this is that cute moment when April says, like, there's a ton of stuff you can do. Like, I'll help you figure it out. And then Chris is, I want to make out with my wife and throws the Pepto-Bismol on Kyle's shoes, which is, poor Kyle.
Yeah. I also love that this is very realistic to me. In 1 year, you will no longer be a shoe shinist.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those changes take time.
Yeah.
Finding a new job, finding your passion, like it might take some time and it's okay. Like, so I really like that she's not like, okay, tonight we're going to get this done and we're going to find what you need to do. It's a realistic 1 year from today, you're not going to be doing this job anymore. I think it's beautiful. And sometimes I feel like people think that a year is too long. And when I look back a year ago, no, it's not. Like, it's okay to say in a year, I'll be able to do this. Like, it's more manageable that way too.
Yeah. And it's just never in your own timing, usually. It's always in the universe's timing or just luck or whatever, Yeah. I also love that it kind of comes back where then Andy tries to help April figure out what she wants to do, like 2 or 3 seasons later, which is nice.
He puts so much effort into it.
Oh, he tries.
Yeah.
All right, so now Ron and Leslie are coming back to the Parks Department and says that Leslie needs an assistant. And I love this so much where April says, well, Andy could do it, and just immediately shouts it out. And it's really funny. I mean, the fact that Leslie says yes is like so nice and kind, and just like that she believes in Andy, because I think she knows Andy is not a self-starter, not a self-motivator, like, or knowledgeable about anything, but he tries really hard. And then he immediately drops a computer, and you're like, oh God, Leslie.
It's so good. I love that. I love that. And I love this. You don't even have to pay me. No, babe. No.
Babe. Nope. Oh my God. So glad he found April. I really feel like he'd be in a ditch, literally still in the pit.
It's because he's too naive
and innocent.
Gullible. Trusting. Like, right, like that. And April is not. Like, they're complete opposites. And so I think you're right. They meet at the middle, and she saves him from a lot of himself. So, The reason I think Leslie goes for it here is I put myself in my position, and I don't think I'd like to have an assistant, because I'd be like, I like everything the way I like to have it. And I feel like she sees that he's not going to be able to do everything a typical assistant would be able to do.
Interesting.
So she's still going to have a lot of the control.
Yeah.
And he'll just be able to do some of the mundane little tasks she needs him to do.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I think she sees he's capable of that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need an assistant so badly. But also, like, we've talked about this before, being a boss is tough for me. I mean, I'm good. I think I'm decent at it, but like sometimes I really need to just tell myself this is the boundary, and that's what it is. Like, you are technically the boss, and that's fine. But anyway, I think that Leslie and Andy have begun a beautiful little relationship, mentorship moment.
Yeah. And the great thing is too, because of how like cute, naive he is, right? It's surprising but beautiful that we find out later he really takes that to heart, and he has so much respect for Leslie.
Totally.
He's so grateful for her because he's like, she's done so much for me. He says that later, and you're like, you're super in tune with like what these people have done for you. So it's really cool.
Well, and he even says that with the shoe shine thing, like, you know, if it wasn't for Leslie, then he wouldn't have had the shoe shine thing job either.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
So he definitely is grateful. That's true.
Yeah.
I love this line of Donna wants taxes to be lowered because they're finding out that she's running for city council. And the very political answer that Leslie gives, like, I think that's premature to say. And Donna's like, no pledge, no vote. All right. So let's see. So now she has to go break up with Ben. Oh, I hate this. Yeah. And I love Ron's thing of like, if you have any questions, if anyone needs anything, deal with your problems like an adult.
Yeah. Too bad.
Too bad. Love that. And I love April saying, you know, do you want me to go find Tammy one? And he's like, no, she has the tracking ability and body odor of a bloodhound.
Disgusting.
Oh my God. And I love
she'll find me.
Yep, she'll find me. Dr. Harris comes back, and this is one of our favorite scenes with Cooper Thornton, who plays Dr. Harris, that says Jerry has the largest penis he has ever seen.
Don't even know if he has mumps, because I was too distracted by the largest penis
I've ever seen. I was like, go Gail. Okay.
Yeah, right? We found the reason.
Literally. I love Dr. Harris's slowdown of that line and like the zoom in at the end. It was just so perfect.
Yeah. I think we talked to him about that, how perfectly delivered that line was.
Yeah, we did. It's so good. This next scene, okay, with Ben and Leslie, it is so layered, so perfect, so cute and sad and everything, but also happy. Ben hands over the box. I love this little subtle nod to their relationship as far as like, she's not going to open it because she's just not going to open it. Like, you're saying all these nice things. I can't do it. Panicky. And he's like, fine, I'll do it for you. And I love it because it has the Knope 2012 pin, and he knew they had to break up, but he wanted it to last as long as possible, which is exactly what she was doing, just in like different ways. And I love her acting of her like tearing up basically, and her asking why. Like, why do we have to break up? Because she has to hear it from him to get like justified almost, but also just to like hear it. She needs to hear it again. And oh God, it's just like so good. Because I think if there was even a thread that she could be with him, like if he gave her a thread of hope, then she would take it, and he has to really cut the tie for her. And again, we just see that balance of him evening her out, because she might not have done it if it wasn't for him, and he puts her career / her best interests in front of himself, and that's what you do when you love someone, and it was so perfect.
It really is. It's like, it's everything, this scene. And I have to believe that inside each of them there's this hope that they could be together down the line. And I think it's beautiful. I mean, it kind of does go down south in a couple episodes, but I think it's beautiful that they're leaving on this positive, I'm here to support you, and I still want you in my life situation. Yeah,
100%. I think that's so true. You can definitely tell that right now they have to cut the thread, but you never know where it's going to happen next. And I just love Adam Scott's like little, like kind of, he has like this nod thing where he's like, we have to break up, and has this kind of like shrug thing with it. It's so but
it sounds like he's going to cry too.
I know. They both are so sad. And again, as the audience member, like we talked about before, we're just like, fuck, you just started. Damn it. I hate this. But also like, we get it. And I love Leslie's line of, I really like sleeping with my boss.
and he's like, yeah.
Oh God. And then they can like make jokes and laugh together, because Ben is like, you're awful, frankly, and I don't like you anymore. And they both are just like knowing what's happening in this laughter moment. It's just the writing, the acting was so beautiful and phenomenal and great.
Yeah. It's so well done.
I love that he says she's been making campaign speeches in her sleep. And this
They
line
got
of, it was
oddly
simple.
specific.
Yes. Did I have a good opening line? It was simple, but I liked it. Oh, yeah. It was just like they've come so far. We've come so far watching this couple. And it's just like, this is also what's going to make, when they finally do get together, such a huge impact, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you have anything else to say before we move on?
No.
Okay. She's making her campaign announcement, and she says the title of the episode, I'm Leslie Knope, and I am running for city council. Oh my gosh, I just thought about also being an extra in that crowd. Ooh, what a delight, what a dream it would have been to see her make her campaign announcement. They didn't know what they were seeing when they were in it.
Seriously, yeah. They really didn't.
And she's wearing the button. Did you notice she was wearing the button that Ben gives her? Oh,
yeah. So and I love that the whole parks department is up there with her.
Mm-hmm. And Andy's there as her assistant.
Yeah. And it's not like, I don't think Johnny's not up there. And,
yeah, right? I didn't see that.
So it's she chose the parks department.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting to have April there. I was like, what? Why? Huh? But yeah, I guess you're right. Like you said,
and then Anne and Donna and everybody's on the side too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think she just was like, these are my it's people. Very foreshadowing of what happens when she loses her campaign team, right? Mm-hmm. Is these people are going to be by her side. They all believe she can win.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and I definitely would like to look up, maybe ask in the next episode, maybe I'll ask Tom as well. Tom, the camera operator. I want to know where this is filmed too, because I'm sure it's just in like it could have been literally on CBS Radford, but like in a park next door, or like even they have grass lots like on studios. So that could have been a thing too. But
this just looked a little bit more vast than a studio.
Yeah.
Like there was stuff behind them.
Right. So it could have been like in Van Nuys somewhere, like maybe near the pit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought it was beautiful. The sign with her name and the like the podium and all the things. I thought it looked really cool. It also did kind of strike me because I think a lot of people don't always think about city council campaigns and how they really are a big deal.
They are important. Yeah.
Because when I watch this, sometimes I'm like, is this a stretch? Do they really do that? And then I'll talk to my mom, who is definitely more involved with the local, politicians. And like, she sees the signs on the side of the road and sheriff, even like sheriff campaigns, things like that. Like they are really big. They are, a campaign. And so it's really interesting to just be reminded of that, because I think a lot of times people think that it's dramatized on the show, but this is real, especially like it's not just Leslie being dramatic, even though they do heighten it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Anyway, so now we're at the tag. Tammy 2 coming in hot. She works for the IRS, which is scary.
Yeah, that is scary. And I don't know, like, why does Ron not have questions around why he's being audited?
I feel like he was just scared / what's the word? He was like frozen, I feel. Like, I don't feel like he was really, and I don't know. I just feel like what he heard her say, he's taking as truth, because he's like, oh God.
He's just so thrown off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anyway, so she says Ron's being audited, and I love this. Like, she's just commanding the room. Patricia Clarkson, who plays Tammy 2, is phenomenal.
She does a great job. Yeah.
And she tells April, I love that. She tells April, sit up. You're not doing your breasts any favors. And Chris comes in and is like, or not Chris Pratt. Andy comes in and says, honey, your breasts look amazing.
They look amazing.
So good. Great way
Plus,
to
I
end the
highly
episode.
doubt it. Yeah, it's so great, because I also don't picture Andy as being someone who calls them breasts.
Right. That's true.
I would consider he probably calls them boobies.
Yes, totally. Oh my God. That's really funny. I did a little mini deep dive breakdown on Patricia Clarkson. First of all, she's a force to be reckoned with, like, as you can see in her playing with Tammy 2. But she has so many awards. She is a prominent actor way before Parks and Rec. Like, it's kind of wonderful that she got this, or that they got her, rather. She has 3 Daytime Emmy Awards, 1 Tony Award. She's been in multiple Broadway shows and plays, and multiple nominations for Academy Awards. Her breakout role, if you're familiar, was in the show 6 Feet Under, and that's where she won her Emmy Awards. But she was also in Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese, which is super famous, but I'm sorry I haven't watched it. And then she was also in The Elephant Man after Parks with Bradley Cooper, that got the Tony Award. And I've heard of Elephant Man before, but I didn't get a chance to see it. But I remember people really raving about it.
Is Robert Pattinson in that too?
That's the movie. But The Elephant Man is the play that she was in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
On Broadway.
Okay.
Is The Elephant Man the movie that Robert Pattinson in, or is it something called something else?
I don't know. Something elephant.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that's okay. Either way, Pieces of April is another movie where she got her Academy Award nomination. And I thought it was really interesting, too, that her mom was apparently a councilwoman in New Orleans, which is where she was born. So that was a fun connection.
That is cool.
But anyway, we love her and she's perfect. And I hope to see her in more things. And I'm just really glad that she got to be Tammy 2 or Tammy 1 because she's so good. And I just love the differences between Tammy 1 and Tammy 2.
That's literally what I was about to say.
So good.
It's so good.
And both of them are such powerhouse women, but in such different ways. So, absolutely. And that's what Ron's attracted to. And I love seeing that.
Agreed. Also, it's Water for Elephants.
Water for Elephants.
My bad.
Okay. Which was also a book. I think and Reese Witherspoon or something was in it too, right? Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So Water for Elephants is Robert Pattinson. Elephant Man is Bradley Cooper and Patricia Clarkson, a.k.a. Tammy 1. But that's what she won the Tony Award for. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I love when I hear that these Parks people are like just powerhouses and so successful and cool. So yeah. Anyway, that was I'm Leslie Knope. Do you have anything else?
No, that's our episode.
Oh my God. That was so fun and so much to talk about and think about. Oh my God. So I can't remember. I think next time will be episode 2, but we do have some really great guest stars coming up for you. And please remember to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. I believe we now have 39 reviews and I need it to be 40. Thank you so much. So, or 50, hello.
Let's keep going.
Keep it going. There's also the Patreon, like we talked about. And if you have any questions, you can always email us or DM us. But otherwise, thanks for listening. And we hope you have a wonderful week and are hanging in there because planets are moving and everyone's going crazy and having anxiety and depression and all the things. And, so you got this.
You got this. It's Thursday. Just 2 more days. You got this.
Yeah, 2 more days. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Whenever you're listening to this, we'll talk to you soon. And, have a good day.
Bye.
There's a Parkinson Pals and there's also therapy too.